some bad hat, Harry.
Welcome to another episode of Jay's LEGO Adventures. I'm Jay. In today's episode, I'll be giving my review of set 21350, Jaws. Overall, it was an enjoyable build, but to avoid spoilers, let's get to reviewing. In the beginning of 2023, I was looking at the LEGO Ideas website when I came across this set made by Diving Faces, and I voted on it. For those of you that don't know, LEGO Ideas is a website where LEGO fans can submit their creations for consideration to be made an official set. Other LEGO fans can show their support by voting on a set. Once a user reaches 10,000 votes, LEGO can then review their creation and decide whether they want to make that an official set or not. Each year, approximately 3 sets get approved. Previous winners have been this year's Nightmare Before Christmas set, the LEGO typewriter, and the Fender guitar. When I saw this set, I immediately got excited because Jaws is one of my favorite movies, and I thought, how cool would it be to build the Orca and build Bruce the Shark? So I immediately had to vote on it. When the winners were announced of the sets to be produced in 2024, Diving Faces' Jaws set had made it in. I couldn't wait for August to arrive. I ordered the set the day it came out and built it almost immediately after I received it. Diving Faces has some other nice creations. I'll leave a link to their profile in the video description. Now let's take a look at the build, starting with the minifigures. First we have Chief Brody, played by Roy Scheider in the movie. Brody comes with binoculars and a gun, but unfortunately the Chiefy doesn't have his rubbers.
So you got your rubbers?
Chief Brody has 2 faces. The one with the glasses is a good representation of Roy Scheider. His other face without the glasses, not so much so. And next up is Matt Hooper, who's played by Richard Dreyfuss in the movie. He comes with a camera and a duffel bag, which I mistook for a lunchbox until I rewatched the movie recently. His headpiece is a stocking cap, and he has 2 faces. The first has a smile, and the second one either looks mad or scared, I can't decide which. Both faces look like a young Richard Dreyfuss. And lastly, we have grizzled old Quint, played by Robert Shaw. He has a machete and he has his rifle. His headpiece is a ball cap. He only has 1 face, although this face does look a lot like Robert Shaw. Now, let's move on to the build with the Orca. First, I'll start with the difficulties I had with this set. First, I came across a badly molded piece that did not fit well until I used a lot of pressure and other pieces were added around it. I'll have to contact LEGO to get a replacement piece. The front end also kept falling apart when I was adding the final pieces to it. I got it together, but I never figured out what the deal was it falling apart. This build in spots felt flimsy, but as you added pieces, it did become sturdier. Now, the things I like about the Orca is the attention to detail. It's a very good LEGO representation of what you see in the movie. The cabin is very detailed, even though it's small. It has a radio that Quint smashes, the benches where they sit and compare scars. There are maps and coffee cups. There's even an issue of the Amity newspaper. As cramped as the cabin is, there's still room enough for a steering wheel. On the front of the Orca, I really like the use of the skeleton arms and the hot dog pieces that secure the pipe piece that make up the pulpit. I like the inclusion of the barrels. The portholes on each side are a nice touch. And the use of what looks like handlebars on the front to make the shark jaws. The back deck of the Orca has a lot of detailing, from Matt Hooper's cage to the life preservers. There's fishing poles all over the place, even one attached to the chair. There's scuba tanks, and again, skeleton arms were used to make the rungs on the ladder. The mast was made using a lot of Technique connectors and Technique pieces. The bell at the top of the mast was made with a top hat element and a paintbrush roller. And a skeleton leg was used in the part that swings back and forth. I especially like that the back tile on this was printed and not a sticker. Okay, now let's move on to Bruce. One of the ways to display the shark is in his full form on the stand, which also has studs to display the minifigures, and a printed tile that reads LEGO Jaws. Building the shark was enjoyable, and I did notice there were a lot of pink and red bricks on the inside while building it. I think these pink and red bricks represent his insides. It was fun to see how the build came together and to see how they made it a mostly studs not on top build. I do find it interesting that the back of the shark remains with the stand. The only difficulty I had with the shark was that a piece from the base tends to get stuck to the shark instead of staying on the base, making it difficult to put the shark back together on the stand. Other than that, Bruce was fun and enjoyable. Oh, speaking of the base, the Diorama Base is made with 3 large 16x16 base plates surrounded by a black buildable frame. On the frame are 2 printed tiles. One says Lego Jaws, and the other has the quote,
"You're gonna need a bigger boat."
There's one barrel in the water. Various slopes in white and blue are used to make the waves. On either end, the waves are spilling over the frame. And the waves are made in such a way that when the shark and the orca are added to the base, they look like they're moving fast. The instructions for the set were provided in 3 ways: printed manual, PDF manual, and the animated instruction in the Lego Builder app. I used the animated instructions. They were easy to follow except for in 2 places. During the building of Bag 1, the animated instructions called for me to build a part that left a 1 plate thickness between 2 pieces. After which, it then wanted me to add the plate between the 2 pieces, which is impossible unless you take it apart. I checked the printed manual and the PDF, and both have you place the plate before placing the other pieces. Now again, this next is only in the animated instructions and not in the PDF or the printed manual. When adding the strings that go on the mast, it wasn't clear that you had to manually tie the string to a Lego piece, and it also wasn't clear that you had to run the string through the hoops on the mast. Now, how about some scores? Interest factor. This build held my interest and made for an enjoyable build. I like the use of regular and ball hinge pieces to make the front end. The use of slopes on the base to give it a sense of movement was a good touch, and also the ability to display this in multiple ways makes it an interesting set. I give it an interest factor of 8. The playability. This set contains 3 minifigures and a buildable shark, and it has all you need to recreate your favorite scenes from the movie. The many details of the Orca will let you have hours of playtime. For that reason, I'll give the set a playability score of 8. Value for your money. Now this set, having 1,497 pieces and retailing for $149.99, has a price per piece of around 10 cents per piece, which is an okay price per piece, but not great. But since I've always loved Jaws and I was really excited for this set, I'm going to give it subjectively a higher score. I'm going to give this a value for your money score of 8. Adding them all up, that gives you an overall score for the set of 8. This set was an enjoyable set to build, and having multiple ways to display it was a good choice, especially if you have limited shelf space. If you're a Jaws fan and don't mind paying the $149 price point for the set, then I highly recommend it. Thanks for joining me for the review of this build. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. I also have a Facebook and an Instagram. The links are in the video description, so follow me. Join me next time when I'll begin my journey into the world of Cybertron with the first of 2 Transformer builds, Optimus Prime. If you'd like to see some videos of my speed builds, check out this playlist.
Just like I thought. What? I came up with a Gulf Stream from the southern waters.
He didn't need a car, did he?